Hello everyone and welcome back. My name is Greg Furman, market analyst here at TraderPlanet.com, and these are the market positions for August the 11th, 2010. Now, our first position for tonight, we're going to do a repeat of today's performance in the gold contracts. Now, looking at the gold, the recommended trade today was off the 1195, 1196 area. We can see we moved down to a low of 1191, and then we shot all the way up to 1206, a very nice move on gold. Now, we do have a little bit of a mixed picture here on these gold contracts, but the predicted true strength indicator from Vantage Point remains in a buy formation, as does the predicted MACD and the predicted medium and long-term differences. Now, again, we were somewhat not really overbought here, but we have a mixed reaction to the Fed announcement today, but this is, in my opinion, overall supportive of the gold contract. So it's just a question of how far is this thing going to pull back. We've closed the day at 1196.2. Now the short-term indicators from Vantage Point are suggesting lower, so we're going to use that to our advantage here. Now, I do believe the US dollar is going to come under pressure, but it's a very unclear picture because the Fed, in my opinion, well, he didn't say anything I didn't already know, to be perfectly honest. And they're buying treasuries and things of that nature. So I'm a little concerned that the US dollar is not going to weaken as much as what people think it is. Now, pulling the contracts up, let's have a look here and see what Vantage Point is saying for tomorrow. We have 1203.6, 1203.6 for the high, and 1191.90 is the low. We can see that the neural index has moved from a 1 to a 0. Now, the neural index is a 24-hour indicator, so what we're going to do is we're going to use, it's telling us the immediate move on gold is going to be lower, so what we're going to do is we're going to allow it to move lower, and we're going to use that to set the buy position. So 1191 tomorrow, I would say 1193 area is going to be our focus. That's where we want to get into those buy positions, anywhere between 1191 and your more aggressive traders 1193. We're then going to be looking for a move back over that 1203 area, and it is possible by the end of this week that we could see gold push back towards that 1215 to 1225 area. It's very possible if that US dollar comes under pressure. Now, there's a lot of things that are going to be driving that: the dollar yen, the euro US, the equity markets, the S&P 500 and the Dow, the Nikkei. All of these things based around the intermarket technical analysis are going to influence the price of gold in its next move. So for now, we're going to stick with our buy. Our Vantage Point software, our triple MA crossover, is only a couple of days old. Does take time to develop, and usually when the cross is at the point where it's at right now, it does take a few days to develop. We have retracements and things of that nature. So that's our first position for tomorrow. Now, our second position, we're going to be looking at the euro US dollar. Now, this is one that's certainly of interest to a lot of people. Now, what I want to point out here is we can see that we have this lone candlestick that has come down today, hit the 18-day predicted moving average from Vantage Point, which of course we use as a major area of support in this particular case, because Vantage Point is very clearly put out a buy signal on the euro US at the end of June. So looking at that today, we came all the way down into that 130, 130.77, 130.80, I believe. What did we come down to here? The low 130.73 was the low. So we've come all the way down into that area, and then we've subsequently closed at 131.75 after the Fed. So the question is here now, do we want to continue to buy this, or do we want to sell it? Do we think it's going to reverse? What's going to happen here? Well, point of interest here that I want to make sure that everybody who wasn't watching the market today knows that euro US actually made this full retracement prior to that Fed announcement, and the second the Fed announcement came out, it immediately shot higher. So for tomorrow, I think we're going to stick with our long positions. There's nothing showing up in that US dollar index that suggests that it's going to move higher. So what we can identify here, 131.63, 130.35 is our two levels of major support. So what we can take from that is any long trade, our support has to be below 130.35. Vantage Point for tomorrow has 130.97 and 132.55. I'm going to recommend that we get into the long positions on this above this area, preferably between 131.50 and 131. That would be the buy area for me, and again, our stops would be below the 130. Preferably in this case, I would say the stops we would have around the 129.90 area just to be safe. So again, we can expect some volatility with the Euro US, with the S&P 500, with the crude, with the gold, all of these things following this FOMC announcement, but it appears that the primary trends prior to that announcement remain in place. And with the euro closing back up in the 130.75 area, that's a good sign. So those are the market positions for August the 11th, 2010. And again, my name is Greg Furman, market analyst here at TraderPlanet.com.